need Justin Bieber? That's the question that's really nagged at me since I first heard the new song Yummy by SNL star Pete Davidson. Bieber. Justin Bieber is what I meant. Now, I say new, it's newish. It's only about a month old, which is fairly recent for one of my reviews, but despite its high debut, it fell pretty quickly, making this not so much a review as a post-mortem. If it had at least debuted at number 1, as his ex-girlfriend did with her recent mediocre song, he could at least claim some kind of success from this, but it was kept off the top spot by some song that's popular on TikTok. History repeating itself? We'll check in 5 months from now. Now, technically, the Bieber song is not dead. It's hanging in there, largely because Bieber has also taken to TikTok to aggressively promote it, trying to astroturf it into a viral hit. Worse than that, he's posted messages to his fans with detailed instructions about how to commit streaming fraud to try and get the numbers up. It's working apparently, but it's also giving it the stink of desperation. The song is bad, in a way that puts an irrevocable stain on your image, and Bieber does not need any more of those. In fact, what it reminds me of is, let's roll back about 3 years, because that's when a truly stunning series of events happened. Within about a 6-month period, we saw the release of Katy Perry's Witness, Taylor Swift's Reputation, and Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods. Witness, Reputation, Man of the Woods. 3 of the biggest stars in music just completely tanking their images with bizarre, misconceived albums that attempted to chart a new course and failed miserably. Taylor took a ton of critical damage from it, and Katy and Timberlake we might never see again. I saw more than one person compare Bieber's new song to Man of the Woods, but it kind of reminds me of all 3 of them. Bieber is somehow making all 3 disasters in one. I guess I should go into detail here, so why don't we skip the appetizers and just get to the main course. This is Justin Bieber's new single. It's called Yummy. What is wrong with it?
Yeah, you got that yummy, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Yeah, you got that yummy, that yummy, that yummy, yummy. Say the word on my way.
If I could say one nice thing about this song, I like that it doesn't lead you on. Like, we were all expecting the worst, right?
Yeah, you got that yummy.
And 3 seconds in, it immediately confirms it. No long intros, no verse, no waiting for the hook. We could have been sitting there in dread for upwards of 2 minutes, but Justin ripped off the Band-Aid right away. Then again, was there ever any doubt that it was going to be bad? It's called Yummy. That's a bad title for us. No, it's not even a bad title. It's a bad word. Unless you're a 3-year-old telling your mom how much you like your SpaghettiOs, the word yummy should not leave your mouth. Leave it in the garbage with moist and preggers and other inherently disgusting words. In fact, it might be one of those cursed words. You know, like no song could be good with it in the lyrics.
I'm feeling yummy head to toe. You see me?
It's a strong theory. I could only find one other song like that actually charted from way back in the late 60s.
Yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy and I feel like I'm loving you.
I'm gonna vomit. I realized they were doing a lot of acid at the time, but there's no excuse for yummy, 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 I've got love in my tummy. It's the most repulsive way to use that word. Or at least that's what I thought until the year of our Lord 2020 when international pop superstar Justin Bieber decided to turn the word yummy into a fucking noun.
You got the yum, 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 yum.
Ugh. Why is that word so much worse with a the in front of it? In fact, let me check something. Girl, you got the moist. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, gross adjectives are even worse as gross nouns. Confirmed. Ugh. Okay, this is where it reminds me of Katy Perry's Witness. First single underperformed, but it was the second song, Bon Appetit, that really sunk it.
Got me spread like a buffet. Bon appetit, baby.
Tons upon tons of songs and poems and ordinary phrases connect food and sex. The thing is, when done wrong, both of those things are the most disgusting things in the universe. So when you get them both wrong, it's double disgusting. I don't want to literally eat Katy Perry, and I don't want to fuck a roast turkey. No one's turned on by carrots and onions and garlic powder. If anything, the Yummy video is even worse. You'd think it'd have a bunch of attractive people doing sexy things, perhaps related to some kind of sexy food. but it's a bunch of old people eating just the worst looking meals, some of which barely resemble food at all.
Rolling eyes back in my head, make my toes curl, yeah, yeah.
What this video makes me think of is nothing less than the Mr. Creosote scene from Monty Python.
Yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe. Any day, say that word on my way, yeah.
And to be clear, it's one thing when Katy Perry does it. Gaudiness is her brand. It's what she does. I at least get the attempt. But Bieber's never made a video like this. A Justin Bieber video has attractive people dancing in it. It's not hard. So in that regard, this video more reminds me of Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods. Because they both made me ask the same question. Didn't you used to be cool? Weren't you the guy who brought sexy back after a long dormant period for sexiness? How did you become a guy who shows up at the biggest entertainment event in the country dressed in a camo sport jacket and elk shirt, Justin? And you, other Justin, why is your adult R&B bedroom jam being sold with fish ice cream? What happened to the both of you? What happened to your sense of good taste or just basic logic? Why would you give a song called Filthy such a clean, sterile video? Why is a video for Yummy so unappetizing?
Flexing on me, yeah, you got that yummy, yum,
Ugh,
flexing on me, yeah, you got that.
what was that? About to turn into Large Marge? What is this video? No, this song and video is a total disaster. But to really understand how this all went wrong, we need to back up. Like, I'm not sure the song itself is really that bad. The beat's decent, the melody's fine, there aren't really any other objectionable lyrics. The only real problem with it is that it's called Yummy. And the chorus is, girl, you got that yummy yummy. It's like a perfectly competent, well-written essay about how Robert E. Lee fought for the North. Except for being based off a blatantly stupid idea, it's fine. You still get an F, but change a couple words, you're probably good. But this song prompted such disgust and schadenfreude from people that I think something wronger is going on. One bad song doesn't generally give me career ender vibes, but this one does, and I'm not sure why. Is it the overpromotion? Him trying to astroturf the song to success on TikTok, it did look desperate, but if he had been promoting a good song, no one would say anything. I also saw one person argue that he's missing the redemption narrative he had on his last album, that without the big comeback from his public breakdown years, he's missing something. I don't agree with that either. Comebacks are really difficult. I think he's in a much better position coming into this album cycle than the last, so I'm coming around to a broader explanation. Maybe Justin Bieber is just a bad artist. Okay, yes, 10 years ago, saying Justin Bieber sucks would not exactly be a groundbreaking take. He was the most hated human being on earth. And there was just a really nasty undercurrent to it. Just smarter critics than me have pointed out that only things teenage girls like get that kind of hate. And I think there was kind of a backlash to the backlash for that reason. At least some critics started cutting him some slack. Honestly, I think maybe too much. Personally, I think I like enough things that teenage girls like where I can say that yes, he actually did suck really, really hard. His songs were child star chipper, and he personally came off as just the most unlikable, self-impressed little shit. But I hear you saying, well, that was a long time ago. He's gotten better, he's made some good songs. Yeah, he's made songs I like too. But he's never made anything I love. The more I look back, the more I realize I have no idea what he offers as an artist or what his persona is. What does he do that we couldn't get from someone else? My problem with Bieber is that as a performer, he's a blank canvas. He may have a pretty voice, but he is terrible at projecting emotion. I look at his best songs, What Do You Mean, Sorry, Even Baby. All of them are basically about him being emotionally clueless and out of his depth. It turns his blankness into an advantage, and it's probably close to who he is in real life. It works, but I'm guessing that dumb guy who doesn't know how to do anything but look pretty is not how he wants to be seen. So rather than leaning into existential confusion, which, that'd be at least be more interesting, he decided to jump into the genre where the most important element is emotional projection.
Getting up, keep me on the rise.
Okay, this song is apparently not an anomaly. He intends to become an R&B star from now on.
Rolling eyes back in my head, make my toes curl, yeah, yeah.
Nothing but sweaty sex jams from the Biebs. This is not even his first dip in the genre.
Go sleep through the daylight, stay awake all night.
I've seen people call him some unsung king of R&B based on a largely unsuccessful record he made in 2013. But that album got mostly ignored because Bieber was busy being a public disaster. So call this his real debut as an R&B singer. And it makes sense, right? He started out as a child star, became a teen idol, and that last album was his coming of age, and now he's reached adulthood. It only makes sense that he should move on to the most adult of genres. It is a perfectly logical progression. Just like it seemed like a perfectly logical progression when Taylor Swift made Reputation. Every era of hers had been flashier than the last. It makes sense. And they were both trying to make it look like a natural evolution. Taylor eventually growing from the innocent good girl to vengeful badass, and Bieber moving on from child star train wreck to mature, settled and satisfied married man. But in both cases, they finally pushed it too far. Taylor Swift couldn't pull off something this edgy and aggressive, and Bieber can't pull off maturity. No amount of underwear modeling or skeevy facial hair can change the fact that he still sounds like a child. I criticize R&B guys all the time for sounding immature. But when I say that, I mean they sound like horny 16-year-olds. Bieber sounds like the 8-year-old kid brother who's copying them but doesn't really get what they're talking about. If people thought he was a proper R&B singer based on that one album from 2013, that might be because he was going through puberty and his voice was cracking, so his singing sounded more emotional than it actually was.
You're all that matters to me.
He actually sounds worse now.
Yeah, babe, yeah, babe, yeah, babe.
When he sings, "Yeah, babe," I don't think this is a grown man ready to fuck. No, I think this is a kid who just won a contest on Nickelodeon and now has a lifetime supply of SpongeBob merchandise. His voice may be lower, but he still sings just as innocently as he did in 2009. I'm not sure he isn't singing about SpaghettiOs.
We ain't never running low on supplies.
And those supplies are grilled cheese sandwiches. Thanks, Mom! Or even ignoring the sex stuff, I hear him trying to sing hip-hop lines about, his Lambo and his 100 bands.
100 racks on me spinning, babe. Hop in the Lambo.
It sounds unnatural coming out of his mouth. Like, it's not that it drifts into any no-go zones like Ariana with 7 Rings. It's doable. He's just not doing it right. I think Bieber is kind of between a rock and a hard place. At age 25, he is the old man of pop music. After 10 years, I guess he wants to age up his sound, but it doesn't actually seem like he's ready yet. He's not yummy, he's not even yuck, he's bland. In fact, maybe I was wrong, because his new album, Changes, just dropped, and maybe I made a mistake comparing it to those previous pop disasters. The new Bieber album is not Witness, and it's not Reputation, and it's not Man of the Woods. Because it is too fucking boring to be any of those. I think Yummy may actually be my favorite song on the album because it's the only one with an actual identifiable hook. Yeah, Changes is one of those records where its worst moments are also its best moments because at least they stick out. What I'm saying is, the moment where Lil Dicky drops a guest verse about how good he is at sex.
Girl, just roll around bed with me. I'll flirt with you all cleverly. I'll lock you down, Pat Beverly. I'll kiss your breast all tenderly. What's up?
Lil Dicky rapping about licking your breasts is one of the best moments on the album, is what I'm saying. That's how bad it is. And I think Bieber knows it too, because he just announced his next release from this album cycle. A remix of Yummy with Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah, you got the yummy, the yummy.
How are you still flogging this dead horse, bro? The fact that he hasn't dumped this song and moved on to the next single, it proves that he really has no other meals in the pantry. Yummy is the best you're gonna get. Open wide.
Say yum yum yum,
Yum, yum, yum.
yum yum yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Listen to your tummy say, this food